What's his born name?
Pike Junachane Nygard.
Holy shit.
Juhani Nygard.
Nygard. Juhane Pik.
Canadian executive, founded Nygard International, a Winnipeg-based company for women's apparel. So he does women's apparel.
Fucking pervert.
So he's a sex trafficking, rape, and racketeering.
Bro, that's how much money.
Did SVU make an episode about this?
I think so.
They better.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Multiple counts of sexual assault and foreseeable what is that? Confinement? Yeah, foreseeable confinement incidents that occurred between Nygard. I lost my spot.
My fault.
Misconduct by Nygard date far as back as 1968.
Damn.
Jesus Christ. To December 2022?
Damn, he got away with it for fucking 50 years.
Hold on, they were letting him do this shit this year?
That's what I was about to say. It's like,
what the fuck?
when you said how old is he in jail, and it's like, bro, when this shit happens, it's like, what does it even matter? He's been fucking doing this shit for 40, 50 years already.
Bro, I mean, they literally let him do it. They just stopped him from doing it.
Yeah, no, literally. This past year.
September 2022.
Yeah. I mean, with that being said, though, it's great that he's not able to
not the past
do
year,
that
the
anymore.
past months.
Bro, they just stopped him a couple months ago. Like, this guy was still allowed to do it, and they knew he was doing it in the 2000s.
Why do you think that is?
Can't touch him.
He had a lot of... I mean, he probably was... His research was probably... See, like, he was probably doing research for some government into, like, how to, like, extend lives and do all that stuff. And, you know, they allowed him to do what he was doing, you know, until...
He just had money to probably do some research on it, and then ended up finding some crazy shit about it. He's like, dude, I'm going to figure all this shit out.
And then they were just like, all right, well, they got that information, and then they cut him loose. They're like, all right, well, we're not protecting him.
Yeah, he's like rogue at this point.
Yeah, they're just like, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
I mean, because like if the government can use you, they're gonna use you. And then when they can't,
especially for his money, if he's gonna fund all the research anyway, like fuck it, you're a billionaire. And it's
anyway.
like, oh man,
no, they could have been funding him money on the side to do some of that stuff too, you know, or just giving him the protection to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, but like Bill was saying, I think just the offering the protection on its own is mutually beneficial from the both of them. Like, we won't touch you, and you're gonna pay because you're a billionaire. You're gonna pay for all this extreme, and also, I mean, like some of the, let's be honest, some of that insurance. I mean, some of that the experiment wasn't really that expensive. You just gotta confine
little girl, weirdo
child or whatever the fuck he was doing, and yeah, there's no like overall cost. You just have to have a lack of like morals.
Fucking doctor on standby to start stab. Dude, this is.
Than that, see, I mean, there's shit like that comes into it. Who the fuck was that guy?
Let's go down a little.
Sicko.
Let's see what the second paragraph says.
They had a wet nurse.
Let's go to the sex trafficking and lawsuits for $10,000. Bohemian police investigated allegations of rape against all the alleged victims under 16. Oh
wow!
For several different lawsuits of sexual
all of
assault.
them were.
February 13, 2020, 10 women filed a class action lawsuit against Nygard in New York, alleging that he had raped them, and then in the Bahamas residence, alleged attacks took place between 2008 to 2015. The women also, I can't see what that says, but the FBI...
Might be able to zoom in, Bills, by the way.
The FBI and the New York Police Department in connection with sex trafficking claims. After these, Nygard announced there was no evidence and had actually resigned, and that he still owned 100% shares of Nygard Group companies.
100%.
He didn't resign shit. He fucking just came out of the public light.
That's why he's so rich.
On April 20th.
So he can continue to profit.
Yeah. And then April 2020, 36 new women joined the class action lawsuit. And the total number of plaintiffs and the sexual assault case to 46. On June 17th, 2020, it was reported that 11 more women joined the class action lawsuit, bringing the number to 57 plaintiffs.
That with the video that we were watching said something about this first got out of control because of a property dispute or something like that.
Yeah, wouldn't an idiot start beefing with another rich man? Like, that wasn't smart.
Yeah, like when you know you're doing this kind of fuck shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, he on December, I'm going to skip a little bit. It basically got up to 57 from what I'm seeing. On December 15, 2020, it was reported Nygard had been arrested in Winnipeg for extradition to the U.S. to face charges of sex trafficking by the unit's office attorneys in Manhattan. On February 5th, 2021, Nygard was denied bond and faced extradition to the U.S. On February 18, 2021, it was reported a new lawsuit had been filed in a class action lawsuit. The plaintiffs, which named Peter Nygard's niece, Angela Dybon, as an alleged co-conspirator in the alleged sex trafficking scheme. On March 26, 2021, Nygard denied bail for a second time. April 2021, Nygard would face extradition hearing in November 2021.
All right, wrap it up. Come on, please. Put me to fucking sleep over here.
Yeah, he didn't get extradited. So probably never will.
So he's in Canada.
Yeah, he never will. Yeah, so he just had multiple sex.
Well, he has to face similar charges in Canada before he comes to America.
Okay, interesting. And he was he doing this shit in the Bahamas, and he's getting charged like by who? I'm confused. Like, so from Canada and the United States are charging him for shit he did in the Bahamas?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the interesting thing, because like with the
Bahamas
designer shit, it's like would they be charging her for weed charges here?
Well, I mean, what if it's like citizens though? That's where I was kind of thinking. Like, what if you're like kidnapping fucking Canadians, bringing them to the Bahamas? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Americans and shit.
Yeah, and if the crime also, so if the original kidnapping happened on Canadian soil, then I imagine if you take them somewhere else, still, you know what I mean? But that's interesting. Yeah, you were about to say something about
but just what about what?
The Bahamas, I think. You're like the Bahamas.
They filed the class action lawsuit.
Who?
The Bahamas did. They first started.
Oh yeah, aren't they like a U.S. territory?
You want to look it up? I don't know, to be honest.
They started the class action, but I don't think they could actually file like charges against them, is what I'm guessing, because they went class action with it. They went straight, like, class actions went the money route.
Part of, I mean, I could see this being a government conspiracy, especially with him not being where are the Bahamas?
They're independent since 1973.
Okay, hell yeah, good for them.
So, but he started doing that shit in 1968, though. So,
and so, but they were formerly territory from the United Kingdom, UK. So,
damn, I wonder, can we? This probably. I want to know how they got their independence. Like, was there's probably like they could in the Bahamas they may like fucking celebrate like a Bahamas Independence Day or some shit like that.
That's fire.
They definitely do.
That is fire.
Damn, I'm trying to be there.
Would you look it up? Be like, I wonder. Oh yeah, I just never heard of anything like that. Also, just with going with this, I could see it being a government conspiracy for sure. But part of, I think, society, a lot of it, I think, is set up for us as citizens, like, to be afraid to commit crimes. Like, the illusion that you'll get caught for the crime is as important as anything else. You know what I'm saying? Recently, I think I was watching a Joe Rogan episode, and I think they were talking about it's like 60%. You have a 60% chance to get away with bank robbery, I think is what it was. 60% chance to get away.
What are we trying to do?
Not talk about it on camera, but like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, so think about that. 60% chance. The entire, like, when growing up, you think it is impossible to rob a bank. You feel what I'm saying? Same thing with murder. I think I've already kind of thought about this with murder, to be honest, as far as like where when you're growing up, you think, bro, anybody kill anybody, they're going to get caught at some point. You don't get away with that.
If you did anything at one point, like maybe like 8, 9 years old, I thought you did anything, you was getting fucked.
Yeah, police will catch you. They're geniuses.
Do anything. Steal.
No, same.
Like, I thought God and my dad could see me doing whatever. It didn't matter.
Okay, you took it to a different level. Yeah,
that's what I did. I'm like,
yeah.
they can see me doing it.
I don't know, bro. This dude's fucking doing some crazy shit.
Yeah, dude's a little extra.
No, I feel you on that, but I could imagine that it's something that, I mean, he was doing it for so long. He was doing it for like 50 years. So all that kind of stuff is where it gets kind of hard to believe. But
they just didn't know what was happening or what was going on. It's just, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess
it's getting more blatant with like their bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like they just feel like it's so much easier to just put more money into just putting things as conspiracies than really having to hide the people they have do their bullshit.
Let's keep it a buck. Is this shit really like some type of new century, new generation type shit? This shit has probably been going around way longer than we can even conceive.
Sure.
Well, he was doing it for a while.
No, but I'm saying this type of shit that people do, bro. Like, he's not the only only person like Epstein
doing this crazy shit.
Like, what I'm saying is like, Hollywood's
probably all connected. Like,
Hollywood's probably the last 100 years.
There's someone who has. There's probably like a few.
Think
people,
about it.
Like big players that traffic people, right? And they have a list of clients that they, do their shit with.
But even before, like the whole, like, just think about the Hollywood now. Like,
and it's probably
what we
all
think
connected.
of Hollywood, it's probably only 100 years old. How long is like that dark side of shit being really going on?
Yeah, because like silent films is like 100 years ago type shit.
Yeah.
I think that it's interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
So they've probably been doing this weird shit. Like it's probably just like how I believe
communication, like
cult wise.
Yeah.
Like they're probably doing this shit. They're probably a part of something way bigger and deeper than we could.
I think we were talking about it. I think we were talking about it last week with the with technology, when we were like kind of like, oh, how technology advanced so quickly and things like that. And then I had suggested that it's really only the last like 100 years or so that people all over the world have been able to share information, like with the flick of a snap. You know what I mean?
No tying up on a bird and sending this shit a week later.
That on its own, like if somebody in Germany wanted to collaborate with somebody from say the United States or whatever, it's like, brother, that would have
22 years.
It would have taken 3 years to like
100%.
for communication to go back and forth. So it's like that. I think is a huge part of the exponential growth of like technology and things like that. I don't think it's like completely unexplainable. But my thing with the with this and the government and crimes, I just always push back a little bit, because the older that I get, and I agree with Bill's, where it was like when I was younger, I was like, okay, the police, if you do anything, you will get caught. You shoplift, you will get caught for doing that shit 100%. So either way, with thinking that's part of building a good society, is that your citizens, they should kind of be built with that kind of thought in mind. I mean, maybe not a good society, but I'm saying like a obedient society. Yeah, that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think that's more important than anything. For your citizens to think that, hey, if you murder somebody, you probably won't get away with it. That's important. But in reality, like I would love to know how many murders get solved. We have a fucking show on television where the whole show is based around, we'll look for the guy for 48 hours, and if we won't find him, then... You know what I mean? That's a cold case.
We'll wait for tips.
That's a cold case. We'll put a fucking number at the end of the episode. Literally, there's a show on the internet. It's about murders. People are fucking dying. And it's like, they'll look for the person for 48 hours. And like, after that, it's fucking really hard. You know?
And it's only certain areas where it's like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, when on the fucking show, when you watch it, if they don't have somebody literally give them the information within that hour-long episode, then... they probably are going to end the episode saying they didn't find the guy.
And they don't find him.
It's very rare. It's very rare without somebody that ends up telling that they find him. So through shit like that and getting older, I'm just skeptical that the government, that it's really all that competent. You know what I mean? I think it's much more like held together by fucking like gum and fucking, you know what I'm saying, like fucking duct tape than I thought. When you grow up, you're thinking like, everything's how it's supposed to be. Everything has a place. Everybody, like, I see somebody working at this place. They know exactly what they're doing. But once you end up being the person in the position, you're like, bro, I'm trying to figure this shit out every day. You know what I mean? Honestly, I'm trying to figure it out every day. I'm worried about paying my bills. Yeah. So it's like, bro, I just really don't think I don't think that all of this shit is all that put together how we think it is. There's definitely, I agree with everything you're saying. There's shitty people that have resources, that traffic kids and all that shit. There's probably a bunch of big players, all that shit you're talking about. But at the end of the day, motherfuckers are really just trying to like hold this shit together and like, bro, can I hold this shit together for another year?
Oh shit! You used to
be here for Grand Theft Auto 6.
You used to look at
but you have to think about it.
Managers like, yo, yeah, like they know everything, and then you get into the position you say you're in, and you're like, I can't stand this fucking idiot.
But you have to think about it.